What's up, everybody? Ron Ellis here. Today I'm going to talk about what got me into the world of knives. I'd always carried knives. Being a tradesman, man, it's a daily tool that we use. I always used any kind of just cheap knife, gas station, $5 knife, $20 knife. But more often than not, I would lose the knife before it ever had time to get dull or worn out. So I didn't spend very much money on knives. I didn't pay much attention to materials, nothing like that. I didn't really care. But then a year ago, I want to say, I was on Facebook Marketplace and came across a Benchmade bug out. I think I paid $100 for this, which, of course I looked it up. Hey man, that's a good deal. I jumped on it. And anyway, I carried this thing around with me. Man, I was proud of it, showing it off. And, I mean, it's a great knife. I mean, I still carry it. But there was one day I was in my local knife shop and showed it off. Hey, man, look at this. I got this one for $100. Man, you got a great deal. He said, Ryan, I've never seen one with a serrated blade. And it got me very curious, and I got to doing a little bit of research, and that is when I learned that people counterfeit knives. I bought a 100% counterfeit Benchmade and then showed it off like it was something major. But that situation, man, it lit a fire in me. I went to researching the crap. I mean, I'm talking hyper focused for about 3 weeks. I could not think about anything except for counterfeit knives. And I'm not talking about just Benchmade. I mean, I'm talking every knife out there is counterfeited. But I also learned that there is more information out there than any one human being can ever consume. So yeah, some of the ways that I found that you can identify counterfeit Benchmades, right here on the show side where you can, the holes for the clip on the show side, that center hole right there, it don't have threads. On a real Benchmade, they put threads in all three of them. The clip, it's always crooked. You see how it runs up at an angle there? The serrated blade, it's not always. They do make some with serrated blades. They're customs, and I read, now I only found this one time and I had to do some digging to get this information, so take it with a grain of salt. I read that Benchmade actually did a production run of serrated that were exclusive to the military. I don't know how accurate that is. Like I said, that was just one very small article that I found on Reddit. And I had to dig for that. So anyway, but serrated, that is a big red flag. For some reason, counterfeiters, just about all their counterfeit knives have the serrated blade. The logo, there's several different discrepancies with it. The blade is shorter, but unless you've got an actual bug out, you don't know that. But yeah, it's actually, I actually still carry this. I mean, it serves its purpose. I'm not a counterfeit guy though. Like, I don't like counterfeiters. I don't like in anything. I'm also a watch collector, and if I could get my hands on counterfeiters, I would choke the life out of them. But anyway, but in turn of doing all this research, I learned that there was this whole big, huge community built around knives, and that I didn't know existed before. And in turn, I've met people that I never would have met. I never would have talked to these guys, and 90% of them are just, I've learned that they are just great people. It's got me in touch with an old buddy of mine that I had not talked to in years. And it's kind of got us talking again. And so in all actuality, I don't know whether to be pissed at this guy or actually thank him, But just like a lot of people out there, the Benchmade bug out is what got me involved. Mine just happened to be a counterfeit one, which is kind of embarrassing, but I didn't know any better at the time, But I think the Benchmade bug out is actually responsible for bringing more people into the knife community than any other knife out there. If I'm wrong about that, let me know. But in my opinion, just in the short time that I've been hanging around, I've kind of figured that out. Everybody's got one. You know, they're great knives. They're lightweight, stuff like that. But I mean, of course, there are better knives out there, but I think they're a little overpriced. But they're very popular, and they have turned a lot of people on to knives. But anyway, guys, that's my story. Y'all, please like, share, whatever, do all that YouTube stuff. Everybody stay sharp. Have a good day.